Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Aqueduct Racetrack here on Thursday. It's the 13th of April, 2023. Gonna look at the 8th race from Aqueduct, but before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Hit 5 for more selections for race courses around the world. And remember to go check out my Aintree Day 1 Grand National Meeting preview. It's an excellent day from Aintree, so check that out. And join me tomorrow for my Maker's Mark preview from Keeneland. Looks like it's going to be an exciting race, and also throughout the weekend for some more Aintree previews. But the turf racing here in New York is starting to really heat up. Let's look at the 8th race, which could be a stakes race at a different time of the year. But the 8th race from Aqueduct, it's Lounge Optional Claimer, purse $88,000. Races for 4-year-olds and upwards. Never won 18,000 twice, 3 times on the main claim starter or Stapler Lounge racer. Which never won 4 races or which not run a blah 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 blah. Optional claim price of $80,000 here. Field of 14 horses entered, including a part of an entry, 12 and 13 RMTOs. It's going to be about 80 degrees today, mid-80s at the best, so I don't think this race is going to get rained off the turf. So they're going to the outer turf course, the distance of ground of 1,200 meters, or the distance of ground of 6 furlongs on the Aqueduct outer turf course. 1,200 meters, 6 furlongs here. Portable rails are up at 12 feet. I was at Aqueduct on Saturday for the Wood Memorial Card. It was good turf racing, except that spill in the second race where Jose Oscano was, injured. But it's unfortunate to see. So hopefully he'll be back very soon. I love turf racing. My top, especially here in New York, my top selection here. I like the 8-horse Comedy Town. I'm gonna go 8149 in the superfecta. 8149 Super, top selection 8-horse Comedy Town, 5-year-old gun by Spice Town. Michael Maselli trains. Trevor McCarthy gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came 24th of September at Pimlico, 5 furlongs in the Laurel Dash, and the horse finished second by a nose. He was dueling on the front end early on. He had the lead. Looked like he was going to weaken out of it, came back late. He ran his heart out, came back with a 98 buyer, a very strong race, coming here off the bench where he runs very well against some, decent quality horses. I think he can get the job done, and I think he can win here today. 2 back, he ran the 27th of August, Saratoga, 5.5 furlongs on the Mellon Turf course in Optional 80. He finished second by nose. Last time McCarthy rode the horse, he was with them early on. He had the lead. He got caught late. What can you do? He ran his heart out there, was claimed out of that run from Trombetta to Maselli, keep in mind. And then prior to the Op 62 at Saratoga, 29th of July, 5.5 on the Mellon. He finished second by 4.5 lengths that day. He just kind of stalked, had a very troubled trip, which cost him, but definitely outran his 26-1 odds that day. And then a Belmont, 4th of July, 6 furlongs in a turf course, Op 62. The horse finished 4th by 2 3/4 lengths that day. Again, he just was a little bit flat that day, but off the bench at Pimlico Preakness weekend, 5 furlongs in an optional 35, winning by 3/4 length from a tracking trip. He was a little bit, all over the course late, but he still got the job done. Making his Aqueduct debut, training well on the train track at Belmont, I'm going to give him a massive shot on the ticket. I think here your second likeliest winner is the one horse, the Thin White Duke. Jorge Vargas Jr. gets on this one for David Donk. Probably one of my favorite turf races, trainers in New York, David Donk. You always can find a good price with him sometimes, most times. But most recently, they ran the horse in the Aqueduct Turf Championship here in the fall over the 6 furlongs. On this course, he finished 3rd by 2 1/4 lengths that day. He was a little bit wide. He needed something more late, but he ran his heart out there. Prior to that, here at Aqueduct, 6 furlongs off 62. He won by a half length, closing up from nowhere. It was a very good race, even after not the best beginnings. And then before then, the Belmont Turf Sprint at Aqueducts. That sounds like a contradiction. Going 6 furlongs there. He finished 5th by 7 3/4 lengths, and I don't think he liked the yielding ground. He's going to see a very quick ground today to close up with, and I think he get the job done. Since they cut him back in trip, he's really become a better horse, and I think that's the key with him. 5-1. I know it's not the best price, but he could definitely win here. 10 off the pick 4s and the 5s. He's a use there on the ticket. And also, we have to talk about the 4-horse here, Nothing Better from Manny Franco. Most recently, it ran on New Year's Eve at the Giannis Stakes at Gulfstream. 5 furlongs there, and he finished second by a head that day. And he was with them early on, dueling. He got caught at the wire. He ran his heart out there. Was the winner of the Aqueduct Turf Championship, where he won by a half a length. Coming home with a 95 buyer in the front and all throughout. It was a very good race. He's run well here at on the turf here in New York. he's run basically he rules the turf at Monmouth over the summer last year. Has a lot of speed here. It wouldn't surprise me if he wins. We'll definitely use him in the multis. But to recount my selection for the 8th from Aqueduct now, it is an allowance race. Gonna go with the 8-horse Comedy Town. Give kudos to the 1-horse Then White Duke and the 4-horse Nothing Better. Where are we? 8149 Super 814 in your multi race. So good luck to all. Please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kid 5. Good luck, everybody.